Caitlin Clark just landed a monster LPGA contract, and let's just say Angel Reese is not taking it well. The moment the news dropped, it was like tossing a grenade into the WNBA world. The internet erupted, fans lost their minds, and suddenly every headline was about Clark. Again. For one athlete, it's the culmination of hard work and talent. For another, it's the latest reason to spiral. Now, here's the question everyone's debating. Is Angel Reese genuinely frustrated, or is this straight-up jealousy? Because what's happening right now isn't just social media drama. It's an entire meltdown playing out in real time. Let's set the stage. Caitlin Clark, the face of women's basketball, the ratings juggernaut, the endorsement magnet, just secured an official partnership with the LPGA Tour. Not a casual cameo or promotional appearance, but a full-scale, multi-year contract. Reports say it's worth millions, including brand collaborations, cross-sport events, and shared marketing rights that run through the 2026 season. In other words, Clark isn't just the face of the WNBA anymore. She's the crossover queen of women's sports, representing excellence, poise, and power across two professional leagues. The second that press release hit, the sports world went nuclear. Fans celebrated, sponsors cheered, and then Angel Reese opened Twitter. She didn't mention Clark by name, she's too calculated for that. But her fingers couldn't resist. "I can play golf too," she tweeted. Just vague enough to dodge accountability, but sharp enough that everyone knew exactly who she was talking about. Within seconds, replies flooded in. Just say you're jealous of Caitlin Clark and move on. Because let's be real, who else could she possibly mean? Even just seeing the national media members that have arrived here, the basketball media that's here to cover Caitlin Clark and what's sure to be a really special day in the women's game tomorrow. At this point, Clark's name is like a trigger word in the WNBA. Every move she makes, someone somewhere catches feelings. And this LPGA deal? It's gasoline on an already burning fire. Here's the truth no one can deny. Caitlin Clark has made more in 2 seasons than most players make in a lifetime. That's not arrogance, that's business. She's become the walking, talking brand every league dreams of. Her games break records. Her name prints money. She's the superstar that every marketing exec has been praying for. And that's exactly why Angel Reese can't stand it. Because while Clark's signing million-dollar contracts and expanding her empire, Reese is watching from the sidelines, furious that the spotlight keeps skipping her. She's been trying to build a brand off controversy and drama, but Caitlin's been building one off results and respect. And the contrast is brutal. Let's not forget, Reese's career has been fueled by attention, not achievement. She's the self-proclaimed it girl, who's made more headlines for her social media antics and modeling gigs than her stat sheet. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark just turned her first 2 seasons into a masterclass in professionalism, breaking records, elevating ratings, and now securing one of the biggest cross-sport deals in women's history. So when the LPGA deal hit, Reese couldn't handle it. Her tweet wasn't just shade, it was a tantrum. The timing couldn't have been worse for her either. Reese has been losing steam on the court and online, watching her follower engagement plummet while Clark continues to dominate the cultural conversation. When Clark sneezes, ESPN posts about it. When Reese complains, the internet rolls its eyes. That's the reality she's facing. And this new deal just reminded her of it. The LPGA saw what every other league sees. Caitlin Clark sells. She moves tickets. She drives clicks. She connects with fans beyond the sport. Angel Reese doesn't. Reese might trend for a day, but Clark builds legacies. That's the difference between a moment and a movement. And Reese knows it. Now let's talk about the deal itself. According to multiple reports, Caitlin's contract with the LPGA is valued between $6 and $8 million over 2 years, including endorsement tie-ins with Nike Golf. That's not just sponsorship money, that's strategic partnership money. She'll appear in cross-promotional events, golf clinics, and even LPGA media campaigns, highlighting female athletes breaking boundaries. It's the perfect blend of sport and storytelling, something the WNBA still can't figure out how to do. So yeah, Caitlin Clark just became a 2-sport marketing powerhouse. You can almost hear Angel Reese grinding her teeth from across the country. And it's not the first time Clark has stolen her thunder. Remember the WNBA draft? Clark's entrance broke viewing records. Reese's, barely a blip. Remember opening week, Clark's games sold out arenas. Reese's, empty seats and excuses. The jealousy isn't new, it's just louder now. The problem for Reese is that Caitlyn keeps winning without saying a word. She doesn't clap back, she doesn't subtweet, she doesn't even acknowledge the noise. She stays locked in, working, signing deals and smiling through the chaos. That composure makes her even more dangerous because every tantrum Reese throws only reinforces the contrast. One athlete is growing into a global icon. The other is acting like an internet influencer having a bad day. It's not hard to see why brands line up for Clark. She's clean, charismatic, and universally relatable. Parents love her, kids adore her, corporate sponsors trust her. She's the definition of safe excellence. Angel Reese, she's drama on demand. Every public appearance feels like a headline waiting to happen, usually not in a good way. And that's the real sting for Reese. Because deep down, she knows Caitlyn Clark has something she can't fake. Authenticity. Clark's humility and work ethic aren't part of a PR strategy. They're who she actually is. And in today's world, authenticity is gold. It's why fans buy her jerseys, why networks fight for her games, and why a golf league just offered her a fortune to expand her reach. Even golf fans, yes, golf fans, are celebrating this partnership. They're calling it the best crossover since Steph Curry picked up a driver. The LPGA's viewership has been flat for years, but with Caitlyn on board, they're expecting record-breaking exposure. Meanwhile, WNBA loyalists are fuming, saying things like, "She's everywhere but in the finals," or "They act like she invented women's sports." It's envy disguised as critique, and everyone knows it. The truth is the LPGA deal wasn't random. It was months in the making. Nike played a big role, orchestrating the partnership behind the scenes as part of a long-term plan to position Caitlyn Clark as the face of multi-sport female excellence. Think about that. While Angel Reese is still trying to get a stable shoe deal, Caitlyn is being built into a brand archetype. Basketball, golf, community, leadership. She's being framed as the complete package. And the WNBA, it's cracking under the weight of it. Players like Angel Reese are starting to resent her, not just for what she's accomplished, but for what she represents. The future. A future where women's sports thrive because of talent, professionalism, and relatability, not because of controversy and headlines. Reese sees that, and it terrifies her, because for years Angel built her image around being the loud, unapologetic, headline-grabbing star. But now, that act feels tired. The league is moving on, the sponsors are moving up, and Caitlyn Clark's quiet dominance is exposing just how small Reese's brand really is. Now let's talk about how Angel Reese's little joke spiraled out of control. Within hours of her tweet, she was trending, and not for the reasons she hoped. The comment section turned brutal fast. Fans were calling her bitter, jealous, and painfully insecure. Some even compared her to the people who used to complain when Tiger Woods first started breaking golf records, saying, "Here we go again. Another athlete mad at someone else's greatness." That one hit deep, because Angel's entire image has always been built around confidence. But in that moment she looked fragile. Everybody talk about other WNBA players not being appreciated. Nobody insulted them. Nobody dismissed their contribution. We were simply saying despite the contributions for years and years and years, a lot of people didn't care. Fair or not. Until Caitlyn Clark came along. By the next morning she tried to walk it back, posting that her tweet was taken out of context and she was just having fun online. But by then, it was too late. The internet had already made up its mind. And once social media picks a side, you're done. One half of Twitter was defending Caitlyn like she was the second coming of Steph Curry, and the other half was desperately trying to remind everyone that Angel's still a star in her own right. But here's the thing. Both statements can be true. Caitlyn Clark can be the most marketable female athlete on the planet right now, and Angel Reese can still be a big name in women's basketball. The problem is how Angel handles that truth. Instead of using Caitlyn's success as inspiration, she turns it into resentment. And that resentment keeps spilling into public view. If the WNBA or even Angel's management team had any PR sense, they would have flipped this story into a win. They could have turned it into a two icons taking women's sports global narrative. But no, the league stayed silent, and Angel's jealousy hijacked the conversation. The headlines went from Caitlin Clark lands historic LPGA deal to Angel Reese throws shade again. And while that might grab clicks, it's terrible optics. Sponsors don't want drama. They want stars who elevate the brand. And right now, Caitlin Clark is the one doing that. Every time her name trends, something sells out. Here's the twist, though. Sources close to the LPGA say this partnership is just the beginning. There are already talks about a massive charity event that pairs LPGA and WNBA stars for a cross-sport showcase. Imagine that. Caitlin Clark and Nelly Korda teeing off together in a nationally televised event, raising millions, while Angel Reese tries to smile through gritted teeth in the background. It could be either the most empowering display of female athletic unity ever, or the most awkward photo op in sports history. Everybody talks about like the effect that we have on them, but also they have the same effect on us, and I think that's what's really cool about it is to see how much joy it really brings them and it brings their families, and that one game where they spend 2 hours of their whole entire year has such an impact on their entire childhood, and I think that's really cool to think about. But this kind of jealousy isn't new. It's the same pattern that happens every time someone new dominates the spotlight. When LeBron James became the face of the NBA, veterans hated the hype. When Serena Williams took over tennis endorsements, some of her rivals couldn't stand it. It's the same story on repeat. Success brings attention, attention brings money, and money brings envy. Angel Reese just happens to be the latest athlete stuck in that emotional trap. The irony is, she doesn't even realize how much she's helping Caitlin every time she opens her mouth. The more she complains, the bigger Clark's name gets. It's the Streisand effect for sports fame. Hate someone publicly, and you accidentally boost their popularity. Angel Reese is fueling Caitlin's momentum for free. Meanwhile, Clark stays silent. No clapbacks, no interviews, no messy tweets. Just focus, grace, and business. She's probably somewhere in Florida, laughing with her agent while finalizing her next $1 million deal as the internet keeps arguing on her behalf. That's the reason that you play. It's not because of the wins and the points you score. It's the amount of joy that you can bring people and the young girls that will one day grow up to hopefully, be whatever they want to be and get to talk about those moments too. And honestly, that's the genius of Caitlin Clark. While everyone else is busy picking sides, she's stacking wins across multiple industries. Basketball, golf, fashion, media. Everywhere you look, she's building an empire. Give it 6 months, and she'll probably have a Nike golf commercial, a Netflix docuseries, and a partnership with Rolex. She's not just playing the sport, she's redefining how female athletes are marketed. Angel Reese, on the other hand, is still trying to figure out why her brand keeps losing traction. And here's the hard truth. It's not because she's less talented, it's because Caitlin Clark has something you can't fake. Mass appeal. Caitlin is relatable, grounded, and consistent. She shows up, performs, and doesn't make excuses. That's the kind of athlete sponsors drool over. Angel's brand, meanwhile, has become unpredictable. Too much drama, too little discipline. I haven't played with anybody on any other team, but some of my teammates golf. Actually, one of my teammates was a state champion golfer, so she's pretty good. I actually haven't played with her yet, so I think she might be scared or something. I don't know why. Her game must have gotten rusty when she became a professional basketball player, but now, some of them do play, but we like to go out there and have fun. Obviously, it's hard during the WNBA season because it's in the summer, so that's the one tough thing about the W is it's in the summer, so I don't get to go out and play as much as I did in college, but it's been fun. Obviously, we're really competitive with whatever we do, so there's some intense battles out there. Here's what's fascinating. This feud isn't just personal anymore. It's becoming symbolic of the divide inside the league. On one side, you've got the old school players who think Clark's fame is unearned and that she's been handed everything. On the other, you've got the new wave of fans who believe Caitlin is the reason the WNBA is finally relevant again. And stuck right in the middle is the league itself, pretending everything's fine while quietly milking the drama for attention. It's messy, it's political, and it's perfect for ratings, but terrible for unity. If the WNBA doesn't find a way to control this narrative, it risks fracturing from within. Because whether players like Angel Reese want to admit it or not, Caitlin Clark has brought in more viewers, sponsors, and media coverage than anyone in decades. The question is whether the league uses that momentum for collective growth, or lets resentment destroy it from the inside. As for Angel, she's at a crossroads. She can either keep posting tweets that make her look bitter, or she can take a breath and make a move that puts her back in control. Show fans she's more than the jealous rival who can't stop talking about Caitlin Clark. Because right now, her name only trends when Caitlin does, and that's not a good look for someone who claims to be the face of confidence. The truth is, Caitlin Clark doesn't need to respond because her actions do all the talking. The LPGA deal was just the latest chapter in a story that keeps getting bigger. Every controversy thrown her way turns into more visibility, more sponsorships, and more legacy. That's the part Angel Reese can't seem to grasp. Caitlin isn't just playing the fame game, she's mastering it. So while Angel's busy deleting tweets and issuing clarifications, Caitlin Clark's stock just keeps rising. She's playing chess while everyone else is still figuring out checkers. Silent, strategic, and unstoppable. So here's the question. Is Angel Reese justified in her frustration? Or is she watching jealousy ruin her image in real time? Because one thing's certain, Caitlin Clark's winning this battle without even stepping on the court.